Hi friend, welcome to Live with Ease. My name is Julia, and today I invite you to join me in a practice to endeavor to release tension, surprise, surprise, and increase mobility in the thoracic spine, shoulders, and neck. So the shoulder girdle is quite a complex structure that's designed for mobility, and sometimes over time, due to stress or heavy lifting, or if you have an intense weight training program, it can actually become more stiff and tense, and we can lose or decrease mobility in that area. So in today's practice, we are going to look at finding or increasing some of that mobility and releasing the tension. And I want you to think less about muscular activity and more about moving through the bones and grounding the bones, so that the more we ground the bones and surrender the weight of the bones into the earth and to gravity, the more the musculature can start to soften and relax, and we don't have to work so hard. Okay? So a few things you'll need are a bolster or a cushion or a couch pillow you can use. And the other thing we'll need is a folded up towel or blanket for support under the skull. Okay, so grab your things, get into your yoga cozies, and I will see you on the mat very soon. All right, so why don't we start with our bolster under the pelvis. So let's get that bolster right under the sacrum, right under the pelvis. You can keep your knees bent. Soles of the feet on the ground, and we're going to do a little bit of a check-in. So what I like to do here is check my range of motion with my arms moving above the head and back down, and also the range of motion in my neck. And then once we do the practice, like the main part of the practice, we'll come back in for this check-in. All right, so take a moment to just let the body settle. Exhale a few times, surrender the weight of the pelvis into your bolster. And then we'll start with that right arm. And on an exhalation, really let the weight of that shoulder and shoulder blade drop. And then float the arm up above the head and rest it on the ground if you can above the head. If you need to bend the elbow a little bit or take the arm a little out to the side, that's okay too. So you check your range of motion here, and just sending the arm up and down a few times, seeing how effortlessly you can make the movement. Good. Keep grounding. Exhale, ground in the shoulder blade. Yeah, going back to grounding the bones and thinking of moving the bones, so you're floating the arm up and down. And just notice what that feels like, your range of motion here. And then if you want, when you rest the arm above the head somewhere on the ground, you can turn the head away or the skull away from the arm and then back to the center, so you can move back and forth. Again, checking the sensation in your neck, the range of motion in your neck, the sensation in the shoulder. Good. Awesome. Lovely. And then let's do the other side, taking the arm above the head and back down a few times at your own pace. Again, checking in with your range of motion here. So again, seeing if you can move the arm again with as little effort. So I'm not inhaling, engaging, and feeling the density of the arm. I want to connect to the weight and the bones so that it actually feels lighter. So again, exhale, I'm going to ground that shoulder blade and float the arm up. So I'm always moving on that out breath. Good. And then you can rest the arm above the head, turn the skull away, and back to the center. And keeping that skull nice and heavy, connected to the earth as you roll the skull back and forth. Heavy drop jaw. Good. Excellent. And then you could take both arms up towards the ceiling, give them a shake. And then what we're going to do is remove the bolster from under your pelvis. We're going to turn towards, why don't we turn towards the right side? And I'm going to bring my rolled up or folded up towel or blanket, whatever you've chosen. This is such a great way to elevate the skull off the ground a little bit so we don't crunch too much in the shoulders. Again, this is not necessary. It's only if you prefer. Okay, so resting the skull, it's a bit windy, my apologies. I mean, it's out of my control. Weather does what it wants to do. Mother Nature does what she wants to do. So when you rest the side of your skull on your towel, be sure to bring it closer to the edge, not all the way, because we still want room to roll here. But we also want lots of room to roll the skull in the opposite direction. And then the next thing you can do is use your cushion or your bolster, couch pillow between your knees, and see if you can lie it along the whole inner part of your lower leg, between the knees down to your ankle if it's that long. Yeah, so we want to support from the knee and the lower legs. All right, so then from here, take a moment. Let's just let the side of the body settle. And again, this added support with the bolster between the knees is not necessary. I like to use it occasionally because it really allows me to release any holding in the lower body, or if there's tension in the hips or that low back, my leg's not hovering and engaging. I can really use the support to allow the bones to fall into, so I can utilize the movement in the upper body and the upper spine. Okay, so as we rest here on our right side, you're going to take your left hand and place it on your shoulder. And then we're going to circle the elbow one way, circle it the other way. Keep connecting that out breath like we do in all our practices, to grounding and releasing the weight of the bones into the earth. Good. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Release muscular or extramuscular activation. Yeah. Soften the musculature. Good. And then if you want, you can extend that arm, that left arm, and just draw smaller circles with the extended arm, so I can use my fingers and draw circles up towards the sky or the ceiling. And be sure to circle the other way. So we want to feel the heaviness of the arm, so heavy that it almost feels light and floaty. Good. Excellent. And then let's place the palms of the hands together with the arms extended out in front of you. And on an in-breath, you're going to slide that top hand away from the bottom hand. Allow yourself to roll onto the forehead. And as you exhale, release the side of the body that's in contact with the ground. Allow it to fall, and then slide that top hand across the bottom hand, bottom arm, across the chest, and opening out into the twist. You can hug those legs a little closer to the abdomen. Good. And then on the way back, curl those fingers, bend the wrist, bend the elbow, slide the hand, excuse the mic, across the chest, across the arm and palm. And you can roll and slide in and out of the twist a few times at your own pace. If you want to rest in the twist for a few breaths, you can, keeping that lower body nice and relaxed and grounded. Good. And noticing as you roll in and out, what that feels like in that thoracic spine, that upper spine, neck, shoulders. Can I keep my skull connected to my support at all times? Good. And also the bolster between the knees is great for if your shoulders tend to hover here in the twist. Keeping that nice and supported allows you to find a little more of that rotation in the upper body. Good. Nice. And then this time, instead of sliding the arm across, or the hand across the arm, you're gonna, on the inhale, same thing, slide that top hand across the bottom hand, roll to the forehead, and then draw or take that arm up above or up towards the skies, the heavens, the ceiling, and drawing like a rainbow or an arc, opening out in this way. Good. Release into the twist. You can take a big breath in here. Exhale, ground the bones, release the weight of the bones into the earth, and then take that arm back up towards the heavens to meet the other palm. Again, you can take this a few times at your own pace. Good. I can already feel the range of motion in my spine and shoulders opening up. Awesome. Fantastic. And then on the next one, when you return the palms of the hands together, we're gonna, same thing, slide that top hand away from the bottom. This time take that left hand and arm above the head and start to draw giant circles around you into the twist. Take that arm down by the legs and complete the circle. And see if you can keep the fingers in contact with the ground at all times. So I'm really finding the release. Again, that noodly, loose arm. Good. Of course, if you want to stop in any, or at any point in any position, maybe there's a bit of a sensation there that you want to breathe into. Exhale, release, ground, let go. Nice. And then of course, in any type of circling we do, we want to reverse that circle. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Excellent. Again, taking these circles at your own pace. Nice. And then eventually when you come back, meeting the palms of the hands together, if you want to take one final slide into your twist and see if you notice, I think my camera is literally shaking in the wind. See if you notice a change in your rotation this time around. So inhale, slide that top hand across the bottom, roll onto the forehead. Exhale, release the skull, release the points of contact deeper into the earth. Slide that hand across the arm, chest, and open out into the twist. Good. And then coming back. And then this time, the last time, we're going to open into the twist. See what it would feel like if you release the bolster from between the legs and gave that twist a try without the help of the bolster. Lovely. And then here you can take a moment to hang out in the twist for a few breaths. Again, the more you draw the knees up to the abdomen, the more lengthening we get in the lower spine, the more rotation we get in the T-spine, thoracic spine, or the upper spine. If you want, you can extend that top leg. Fantastic. Excellent. And so then why don't we roll back, release, or bend that knee. We're going to come back to the center. Yeah, let's take a moment back in the center. You can keep the knees bent or elongate or extend the legs. And just let the arms extend and rest along the side of the body. Take note, compare and contrast. How does one side feel differently than the other? Fantastic. Nice. If you want to check in with the raising of the arm above the head, you can do this with your head remaining on the blanket or towel, or you can remove it. Good. Nice. So just taking your little check-in here, both arms. So one might feel a little more spacious than the other. That's totally normal because we only worked one side. Good. Nice. And then why don't we move to the other side? If you want, you can just roll to the other side. I'm going to switch so that you can still see me. So I'm going to shift myself over to face the camera, send my little towel on the other side of the mat, resting the side of the skull on the folded towel blanket. Place my bolster between the legs, between the knees. Good. Take a moment to deeply exhale. Feel that left side of the body now connecting to the earth. And each time you exhale, let it fall and sink. Good. Release, release, release the weight. So our goal here is to create mobility. So releasing tension so we can find more mobility and softness in the musculature. So more mobility in the joints and softness in the musculature. Good. Let's place that right hand on the shoulder. And creating small or big circles. You can start small and gradually grow them in size, circling the elbow one way. And circling the other way. Fantastic. You can keep switching the circles as you need. And then eventually you can extend that arm and find your circles here as you rest on the side of the body. And thinking of drawing circles with the fingers up towards the sky or the ceiling. Good. And then let's bring the palms to face each other. Again, we're going to inhale, slide that top hand away from the bottom hand, and as you allow the skull to continue to connect to your support, allow yourself to roll onto the forehead. Excuse me if my mic gets crushed. And then exhale, release the weight of the bones into the earth. Slide that top hand across the bottom hand, cross the arm, chest, and open out into the twist. And just noticing how this side feels differently than the other. Good. And moving in and out a few times at your own pace. I suggest to really take your time in unraveling into the twist. Yeah, slow we go, we really can start to knead out that tension. Good. I can really connect the breathing to the movement. Again, from the twist, I can inhale, then exhale here. Release the weight of the body towards the earth as you curl the hands, wrists, elbows, slide across the chest, arm, and hands. I'm not fully sliding my hand across the chest just because I don't want to brush against the mic. Good. And then this time, let's take our nice big arc and rainbow, so I can slide that right hand across or pass the left hand on the in-breath. Exhale, release the bones into the earth, taking that arm, right arm up towards the heavens and opening out into the twist. Good, and coming back. In and out a few times. And again, can you check in with to make sure that the skull is in contact with your support or with the ground at all times? So I'm not lifting it to turn it, I'm rolling it along. Good. And then this time, when you're satisfied with the arcing, let's invite the circling. So I'm going to slide that right hand across the bottom, take the arm above the head, and start to circle in the arm. Ooh, yes, I can feel that on this side is a little bit tighter. Keep exhaling, dropping, release. Oh, lovely. Good. And then why don't we take the circle towards the other direction? Lovely. You guys are doing great. Let's go one more circle. Delightful. Good. And let's revisit our twist 2 more times. One with the bolster, sliding that right hand across or across that left hand, arm, chest. Whoops. And open to the twist. And then let's draw the hand back. Release the bolster from between the knees. Let's try one twist without the bolster. Good. Oh yeah, do you feel a difference here? Fantastic. Good. And then let's return to the side. Roll onto our backs. Let's do another compare and contrast. This time, if you have the blanket or towel under your head, remove it. Come directly onto the ground. Again, take a moment to just compare the two sides, or how does your relationship with the body and the ground feel differently now versus when you began. The neighbors are at work in their backyard. I don't know if you can hear it. Good. So then why don't we now revisit the movements of the arms above the head once again. Ooh, hopefully things are starting to feel a little more spacious. Yeah, if you want to roll the skull. Oh, so delightful. Good, 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 good. And then switch arms at some point. Again, just really seeing if you notice a lightness, an ease with the movement of the arm up and down, even how the arm rests above the head might feel different. The sensation in the neck and shoulder when you roll the skull away from that arm. Good. Nice. And then just to finish off here on our backs, we can take hold of the elbows once you bring the head back to the center and create some circling with the arms. Again, circling one way and then the other. Good. And then why don't we release the hands from the elbows, hug the legs in, right into the abdomen. If you want to circle a little bit in the legs, circling one way, then the other. Shake out the limbs, release the limbs to the ceiling. And then let's release the feet onto the ground. Take a moment here to exhale, release. And then why don't we roll onto our side and come up onto our hands and knees for a brief moment. All right, so let's just take a moment to come onto our hands and knees. If you want to take a little bit of flexion and extension of the spine. Oh, that might feel really nice and loosey-goosey. Good. If you want to snake through, so on the flexion, sending the pelvis towards the heels and then scoop through 2 or 3 times. Good. Nice. And then just to finish off our practice here, we're going to take the left hand and step it in front of the right or a little further in front of us. And then we're going to dome the spine, drop the skull, and on an out breath, you're going to release the pelvis or send the pelvis towards the heels, turning the head away from that left arm. Lovely. Inhale, come back up, dome the spine, drop the skull, right it back to the center. Exhale, release the pelvis towards the heels. They don't have to touch. In fact, I doubt they will. Good. Moving in and out a few times, so we're really getting into that shoulder, armpit, and an extension in that thoracic spine. Good. Let's do one more. Lovely. And then once you come back to the center, let's bring that left hand to meet the right, this time stepping the right hand forward, a little further forward. And then inhale, dome the spine, drop the skull. Exhale, release the pelvis towards the heels. Turn the head away from the right arm. Good. Inhale, return to the center. Exhale, release. Exhale. Let's take one more. Good. Oh, feels so good. Excellent. Return that right hand to meet the left. Again, if you want to snake through the spine, a few times, shaking out the skull. Lovely. And then let's come and sit on our heels. If sitting on the heels is not really appealing, I think my camera moved. My apologies. Oh, I love the surprises I get when I film outside. It's great. So if you can't sit on your heels, you can sit on your cushion or bolster, or you can sit on the ground with your legs extended out in front of you or cross-legged. And so all we're going to do here is just take a moment to circle the shoulders back. See how that feels. Does it feel any differently now versus when you began the practice? Yeah, rolling them back, rolling them forward. If you want to add in a circling of the skull, head. Oh, yeah. Definitely things are feeling a little more mobile and loose and free. Lovely. If you want to take that movement where I take hold of the elbows and circle a little bit in that upper torso. Lovely. Let's take this the other way. Good. Great work. Great work, you guys. And then let's release the hands. Just take a moment to close your eyes wherever you are. Take a moment in silence and stillness to absorb the beautiful, gentle, subtle movement you've given your upper body. Breathe into the space, feel the freedom, feel the space. And you can continue to rest here or sit here for as long as you'd like if you are enjoying the silence. I will leave you with this final mantra. You can join me if you'd like, or you can mentally repeat the mantra to yourself or say it out loud, bringing the palms of the hands together, sending the hands to the forehead, think love. To the lips, speak love. To the heart center, be love. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today and releasing the upper body, shoulders, neck, and thoracic spine, and creating mobility and releasing tension. Stay tuned. There will be more. Okay, because this tends to be, especially as we move into the colder months and days, giving us the upper body, shoulder, neck love is key. Okay, friends, be well, and I will see you on the virtual mat again soon. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the video, share the channel with someone who you think might benefit from it. And again, if you have any requests, please send them my way. I love to hear the requests. Okay, take care, be well.